It wasn't Mike Smith's fault! Yay! Welcome back, hockey fans. Welcome in if this is your first time to the channel. I'm Josh. This is the Hockey Flow, and tonight it's Thursday, June 2nd, 2022. That's right, Avs Oilers Game 2 just wrapped up. And I'm a little disappointed as an Oilers fan, but that's okay. Friends of the channel will know I'll still root for them no matter what. But we will get to my observations to that game in just a moment. But first on Today in Hockey, we're going to go through headlines. We did have a couple of fun ones today. Then we'll get to my observations from Game 2 tonight. Then we'll go ahead and preview tomorrow night's Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And we'll also pick a winner for you. And we're going to conclude the evening with another wonderful article deep dive. This time we're heading back to the hockey news, and there was a really cool article on the trade deadline and checking back in and giving us four players that have really stood out, and a couple of them I was a little surprised by, so hopefully you will be too. But before I forget too, if you really do enjoy the content, take a moment, like the video, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. I'll sit here and be back when you get back in just a moment. I really do appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. But without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? All right, headlines first and foremost. Los Angeles Kings' KOPITAR. He did win the Marc Messier Leadership Award for 2022. Congrats, sir. Well deserved. A nice little piece for the trophy case, but also what it means is probably more important. All right, Tampa Bay Lightning. This one, you'll be a little disappointed. Braden Point is going to be out for the Eastern Conference Finals. He tried to skate yesterday and actually fell awkwardly. The coach said that didn't really have anything to do with it, but he said he will not be back this series. Maybe back if they are to advance, but I tell you what, the Rangers looked real good that game one, so we'll see what we break down coming up. All right, so we did have an exciting game tonight. As an Oilers fan, I'm a little disappointed, but like I said, it wasn't Mike Smith's fault at all. He actually played really well at the beginning. The Avs were actually kept off the scoreboard. Unfortunately, so were the Oilers in the first period. They are up 2-0. They won the game 4-0, and it was tough. I tell you what, these are my four takeaways as an Oilers fan and just as an objective hockey fan. I tell you what, this was a tale of defensive polar opposites. Bednar had that Avs team just firing on all cylinders defensively. They were smothering us. They were playing in unison. It was just beautiful to watch. And the Oilers, we were on the opposite end of the spectrum. We were just all over the place, disorganized. Darnell Nurse had some just terrible mistakes, giveaways, silly penalties. I mean, it was just rough, guys. So we're just going to forget this one. We're going to move on to Game 3. Hopefully we can get one game closer to tying it up. But Colorado, they're overwhelming. I tell you what, you blink and you miss it. In the second period, they scored 2 goals in 40 seconds, had a third within another minute or two. It's just ridiculous. And then the Oilers, we only had one chance in the third period. Are you kidding me? I was looking up the stats for this video, and Francouz had 23 saves through 2 periods and ends up with 24. Like, are you kidding me? But moving into him, he was fantastic. Sprung into action, without much notice. No Darcy Kemper tonight. That was kind of the headline. And Frankie, he showed up. Avs fans really supported him. They're cheering his name, and he deserved it. He played excellent tonight. Well deserved, sir. And fortunately for Oilers fans, we did run into that tonight. And I tell you what, the Oilers looked frustrated. By the end of the game, Kane was roughing everyone. Draisaitl had a slash early on, and you could just see his body language. I know he's a player that does tend to show how he's feeling a little more, but man, this one was rough. Colorado had a good game plan. That save, though, Mike Smith, I'll run that on the loop all day. His seal save, I got it. But that was magical. That first period was great, but still, Colorado's overwhelming. I don't know what the Oilers. We got to organize. Jay Woodcroft has to get us organized defensively. But yeah, on to the next one. All right, let's pick tomorrow night's Game 2, Lightning Rangers. This one, I'm going to keep her kind of brief. I think the Lightning are going to win. I tell you what, I went with the Bolts Game 1, and they disappointed me. Right now, we're on a bad schneid. We're 0-3 in our last 3, so we really need this one to get back off the losing streak here, and I think the Lightning are going to do it. They've showed a lot of resiliency, and they swept last series, so they had a little too much time off, it looked like. There was some rust, so they got that knocked off. I expect Vasilevsky to be playing at his peak again, and this Lightning team is going to be firing on cylinders. No Braden Point, like we said, but that's okay. I think they're going to win. All right, article of the day. Excited for this one. So the trade deadline was quite a while ago, but I stumbled upon this article from the Hockey News. Playoff rentals: how the top NHL trade deadline acquisitions are performing, and this one's coming to us by the wonderful Adam Beauchemin. And I tell you what, this is a fun one. He picked 4 trade deadline deals that have stood out, essentially, that these players have made an impact. And I will agree. I'll admit I was a little surprised to see some of the production / a couple of the names. Number one, Nick Paul, speaking of the Tampa Bay Lightning, he's actually stepped in and played first line center for Braden Point while Point's been out. He did score the both goals in that Game 7 against the Lightning as well. He's just been doing it all. That's what the article says. Nick Paul does it all. That was the quote, and it's been neat to see. He even had a between the leg goals earlier this year too. Like, just crazy how a change of scenery can do that. And I did watch some Senator games, and he did look okay, but man, on this Lightning team, he is just firing on all cylinders. Moving on though, Claude Giroux, and I tell you what, friends of the channel will know I'm a huge Claude Giroux fan. I love this guy. He is so much fun to watch, and I love his demeanor, just how calm he is. I mean, good luck getting him to show any emotion. It's kind of like McDavid in that way, and got to support the fellow Redbeards, right? Absolutely, we stick together. But he actually did have a great impact for Florida before they were eliminated in that disappointing round 2. He had 7 points in 6 games in round 1, and to end the season, he was a big reason why that team was, won the President's Trophy. So Claude Giroux absolutely was a deadline standout. I agree 1,000%. Evander Kane, okay, so this one's a little hot topic. As an Oilers fan, I love it. He's been doing excellent, but you do have to kind of factor in his off-the-ice stuff, and that can kind of give you a bad feeling in your stomach. So if you can remove all that, which I know it's bad in some ways, but this is strictly hockey speaking, right? He has had 13 goals in 13 games this postseason so far. Didn't have much of an impact tonight, aside from the roughing, but overall, for the Oilers, this one wasn't technically a trade deadline deal. They didn't trade for him, and the article does point that out. I agree, but he was a deadline acquisition, got a little more time than your normal trade deadline deal would have with the team, but still, he's been incredible. His on-ice play has been great, and he's been quiet off the ice too. So kudos to him for keeping it real there. But Andrew Kopp, man, if I tell you what, if I had to pick my deadline deal of the year, it would probably be Andrew Kopp. Claude Giroux is excellent. He's one of my favorites, but Andrew Kopp, I tell you what, he's just been so impactful for the Rangers. He plays everywhere. He's playing leading the team in penalty kill minutes in the postseason. He has 13 points in 15 games. He was on a point per game clip for a little while. Like, man, I just can't say enough good things. And what he has brought to that team, he's brought a little grit too, and he just kind of rounded out that roster. It's been really neat. And Rangers fans, let me know in the comments what you think about Andrew Kopp, and everyone, let me know, what do you think who the best deadline deal was this year? Did we not even list it? Did the article ignore someone that you think has had a bigger impact? I'd be really curious. The whole point was that they made it to the playoffs, and these guys have performed in the playoffs. So absolutely, this one was a fun one. I appreciate you guys. That's going to do it for the video today. We are doing a giveaway at the channel. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. We're on a road to 100 subscribers, so thank you so much for all the support as we work our way there. Once we get to 100 subscribers, we'll be giving away something hockey related, a jersey, an autograph, something like that. And be sure to check out my other videos. We did one a couple days ago on Shoresy, an excellent show on Hulu. A lot of fun if you love hockey, especially small time hockey. Absolutely. But until next time, cheers.